Thank you for buying a Brother Sewing Machine. This DVD is designed to give you an overview of the machine operation in line with the operation manual. Please note that some descriptions may not apply to the specifications of your model. Now let's get the machine ready for use. Connect the foot controller into the jack on the right side of the machine. Connect the power supply plug into a wall outlet. Turn the main power switch on. The sewing lamp comes on when the machine is turned on. Now let's take a look at how to set the bobbin winder and the lower thread. Only use the bobbin that has been designed for this sewing machine. Use of bobbins from other models may cause injury or damage to the machine. Pull out the spool pin fully and insert the spool of thread for the bobbins onto the spool pin. Pass the thread from the front to the back around the tension disc that is found on the upper left side of the machine. Pass the end of the thread through the hole on the bobbin from the inside of the bobbin and pull through. Put the bobbin onto the bobbin winder shaft and slide the shaft to the right. Turn the bobbin and align the groove on the bobbin with the spring on the bobbin winder shaft. While gently holding the thread from the bobbin, press the foot controller down lightly. Wind the thread around the bobbin a few times and then stop the machine. Trim the excess thread above the bobbin with a pair of scissors. Make sure you cut the excess thread completely before winding the bobbin. Wind the thread again by pressing the foot controller down fully. When the bobbin is full, the bobbin starts to turn slowly. Take your foot off the foot controller to stop the machine. Cut the thread with a pair of scissors, slide the bobbin winder shaft to the left, and remove the bobbin. First, turn the main power switch off before setting the lower thread. Raise the needle by turning the balance wheel toward you and raise the presser foot lever. The position is correct when the mark on the hand wheel points directly up. Slide the button on the right of the bobbin cover and open the cover. Put the bobbin in so that the thread comes out from the left side. Hold the end of the thread, push the bobbin down lightly, and then pass the thread through the slit. Make sure that the thread is correctly inserted through the tension adjusting spring of the bobbin case. If it is not inserted, reinsert the thread. Replace the bobbin cover. Now you have completed the setting of the lower thread. For models equipped with the Quick Set bobbin, push the bobbin down lightly with your right hand and then pass the thread through the slit with your left hand. Pull the thread toward you to cut excess thread. Now let's take a look at how to upper thread your machine. Ensure that the main power switch is off and the presser foot lever is raised. Raise the needle by turning the hand wheel toward you. Pull up the spool pin fully and insert the spool of thread for the upper thread so that the end of the thread comes out toward you. Hold the thread from the spool of thread. Pass the thread through the thread guide with your left hand and feed the thread following the arrow. Guide the thread through the thread take-up lever from right to left. To pass the thread through the needle bar, it is recommended to hold the thread with your left hand and pass the thread with your right hand. Lower the presser foot and thread the needle. For models equipped with the needle threader, lower the presser foot. Lower the needle threader lever slightly and hook the thread onto the guide. Turn the needle threader lever toward the back of the machine, and the hook passes through the eye of the needle. Pass the thread through the hook. Turn the needle threader lever toward you slowly, and the hook will pull the thread through the needle. Pull out the end of the thread that has passed through the needle. While gently holding the end of the thread, raise the presser foot and slowly turn the balance wheel toward you once to raise the needle. Pull up the upper thread and the lower thread will come out. Pull out the thread with your fingers. Put the upper thread and the lower thread under the presser foot and pull out about 5 centimeters of thread toward the back of the sewing machine. For models equipped with a quick set bobbin, you can begin sewing without pulling up the lower thread. The machine is ready for sewing. Now let's start sewing. Turn the main power switch on and select the pattern on the pattern selection dial. To select pattern number 14 or higher, set the stitch length dial to SS and select a pattern on the pattern selection dial. For models that offer 35 patterns, set the stitch length dial to SS1 for patterns from number 14 to 25. Or SS2 for patterns from number 26 to 35 to select a pattern on the pattern selection dial. Raise the needle and lift the presser foot to set the fabric. While holding the thread and the fabric with your left hand, turn the balance wheel toward you to lower the needle into the fabric and lower the presser foot lever. When you sew the fabric, adjust the speed with the foot controller. To finish sewing, release your foot from the foot controller to stop the machine, and then raise the needle by turning the hand wheel toward you. Raise the presser foot, pull out the fabric, and then cut the threads with the thread cutter that is found on the left side of the machine. When the fabric is too thick to be set under the presser foot, raise the presser foot lever further, and the presser foot will be raised by 1 notch. Let's try reverse sewing. To sew the fabric in reverse, lower the needle into the starting point of stitching and lower the presser foot. Start the machine slowly, sew the fabric a little, and push the reverse sewing lever in and hold it while sewing. When you return to the starting point of the stitching, release the reverse sewing lever to sew forward. To finish sewing, you can sew the fabric in reverse while pushing in the reverse sewing lever. Now let's check the tension of the thread. If loops appear on the surface of the fabric, reduce the tension by turning the upper tension control dial to a lower number. If loops appear on the back of the fabric, increase the tension by turning the upper tension control dial to a higher number. The tension of the thread depends on the type of fabric or thread. Try sewing with a piece of the fabric you are going to use and adjust the tension of the thread. Let's use the zigzag stitch. Turn the pattern selection dial to the zigzag stitch, set the fabric, and start sewing. To adjust the stitch length, use the stitch length dial. The higher the number, the longer the stitch. The lower the number, the shorter the stitch. To adjust the stitch width, use the stitch width dial. The higher the number, the wider the stitch. Let's sew a buttonhole. First, use tailor's chalk to mark the position and length of the buttonhole on the fabric. To sew the buttonhole, change the presser foot to the buttonhole foot. Raise the needle by turning the balance wheel toward you and remove the power supply plug from the outlet. Raise the presser foot lever. Raise the lever at the back of the holder to remove the presser foot. Place the button on the button plate, then attach the buttonhole foot by lowering the presser foot lever in order to fix the buttonhole foot onto the shank of the presser foot holder. Plug in and turn the main power switch on. Set the stitch length dial in the range from F to 1.5. Set the stitch width dial in the range from 3 to 5. Set the pattern selection dial to 1. Pass the upper thread into the hole of the buttonhole foot. Align the red mark on the buttonhole foot with the front side of the marking on the fabric and lower the presser foot lever. Lower the buttonhole lever and push it back slightly. While lightly holding the upper thread with your left hand, turn the hand wheel towards you to lower the needle into the fabric and start sewing. Let's sew on a button. To sew on a button, you need to use the button sewing foot. First, measure the distance between the buttonholes. Set the pattern selection dial to the zigzag stitch and set the stitch width dial to the length of the buttonhole. Remove the power supply plug from the outlet and attach the button sewing foot. Attach the darning plate so that the fabric does not move forward. To attach the darning plate, align the hole of the needle plate with the tab of the darning plate. Connect the foot controller plug into the jack of the machine and turn the main power switch on. Set a button between the button sewing foot and the fabric. Check the hole length by turning the balance wheel toward you. Start the machine and sew the fabric. prevent the threads from loosening, bring the upper thread into the back of the fabric and tie it with the lower thread. Let's take a look at how to change the needle and clean the machine. Make sure to remove the power supply plug from the outlet before you change the needle. Raise the needle to its highest position by turning the hand wheel toward you. Remove the presser foot and lower the presser foot lever. Hold the needle with your left hand. Turn the screwdriver with your right hand to loosen the needle clamp screw and remove the needle. With the flat side of the new needle towards the back of the machine, put the needle in until it touches the needle stopper. While holding the needle with your left hand, use the screwdriver with your right hand to tighten the clamp screw. Make sure you switch the machine off before you clean it. With the presser foot, the needle and the presser foot holder removed, grasp both sides of the needle plate cover and then slide it towards you to remove the cover. Remove the bobbin case. Use the accessory cleaning brush or a vacuum cleaner to remove any dust from the race and its surrounding area. To install the bobbin case back again, put the bobbin case in so that the projection on the bobbin case lines up with the spring. Remember how the bobbin case was positioned. For models that have a tab in this area, remove the screw and the needle plate in the back to pull out the bobbin case. Remove the bobbin case. Use the cleaning brush or a vacuum cleaner to remove any dust from the race and its surrounding area. To install the bobbin case back again, put the bobbin case in so that the projection on the shuttle lines up with the spring. Remember how the bobbin case was positioned. Replace the needle plate in the back and check that the notch of the bobbin case and the tab of the needle plate are aligned. We hope you enjoy sewing with your Brother Sewing Machine.